Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Abul and today I have 3 books to review and they are all about people suffering from mental illnesses. So let's get started. The first book that I'm going to review is The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Fielder. This book is about a guy named Matthew who lost his older brother Simon when they were both still young. So Simon was not born normal, he was born with Down syndrome. So naturally, all their parents' attention were drawn towards him. However, Matthew got more attention from Simon himself. That's why when Simon died, he lost every attention that he used to have before. And it's quite awkward when their parents started to shift more attention towards him. Matthew kept reminiscing his lost brother, and that is why he started to develop his mental illness, which is schizophrenia. He kept on seeing Simon. Matthew understood that seeing Simon is an illness, but he's afraid to be cured because once he is cured, that would mean that he is not going to see his brother anymore, the one who gave all his love towards him. Reading this book, you will notice little things that Simon did towards Matthew that he only found out after Simon's death, and that would make Matthew feel more guilty about letting him go. Although this book is written by Nathan Fielder, you will feel like Matthew is the one writing this book, literally and contextually. This is because the writing of the book is very vivid. It is as if Nathan Fielder really understands how Matthew feels. This is of no surprise because Nathan Fielder himself is a registered mental health nurse. When I was reading this book, I felt like Matthew is talking to me. The way he expresses his sickness, his illness, the way he describes Simon in someone's hair, behind someone's clothes, grabbing, calling towards him. So the writing of the book is very vivid. And why I say that it feels like Matthew is the one writing this book literally is because this book is like a compilation of his writing journal. Matthew goes through a writing therapy, and this book is like where it is compiled. So there is this one time where he wrote, "Please stop reading over my shoulder," when someone else is reading over his shoulder while he's typing his journal onto the computer. And on the other side of the book, when he does not have a computer but a typewriter instead, the writing of the book is in typewriter as well. So you will feel like this book is written by Matthew, and that makes it more closer to me as I was reading it. So moving on, I'm going to talk about this book, All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I bought this book after I saw a review on YouTube and I had no idea that it is about a mental illness as well. All the Bright Places is about 2 main characters, Theodore Finch and also Violet Markey. They both have their own history to end up being at the top of the bell tower trying to take their life away by jumping off. So that's how the book started. They talk each other's down and manage not to jump off the bell tower. Being curious of why Violet Markey wanted to take her life away, Theodore Finch volunteered to be in the same group as her in their US Geography class. In the class, they had a task to adventure to explore the wonders of Indiana where they live. Through their adventure, they got to know each other. They started to develop feelings towards each other, and you can see how they started to grow out of their illnesses. Theodore Finch and Violet Markey both suffers from depression, anxiety. Theodore Finch has a history of a very abusive father and an absent mother, and everyone around him seems not to care much about him, and maybe that is why he developed his illnesses. On the other hand, Violet Markey just lost her sister, her partner in crime, her partner in writing their blog together. Her sister died in a car wreck where Violet is also inside the car. So she was the survivor of the accident, which makes it much harder because she felt the sense of guilt, sense of responsibility of her sister's death. Through the book, you can see that Jennifer Niven did a very good job in changing the moods and the tones when Theodore Finch is still normal, is still okay, and when he is having depression, anxiety and whatnot. So you can see how the mental illness actually change the way they think. This book is written in two perspectives. One is from Theodore Finch and another from Violet Marquez. Be of no worry, because you are not going to read about the same situation from two different perspectives. It's going to be continuous. This book is a must read because it encapsulates friendship, romantic relationship, and the mental illness itself is being written very, very vivid and very, very alive, that you will felt so close to the characters inside here. I myself practically went through back to the earlier pages because at some point you will miss the characters inside the book as if they are your friends. Jennifer Niven had a personal experience, and that is why I think that she managed to write the book very, very nicely, very, very beautifully. After reading this book, I felt like grabbing this book and book the first flight to Indiana to go through the same adventure as they did. The adventure part of the book itself plays a very vital role in being the page turner. Do you know that there are some kind of books where by the time that you reach the last 50 pages, you feel like this book is not going to end? All the Bad Places is the total opposite. When this thick of pages are still left in my reading, I was like, what else to be said about this book? But I am glad that these pages are there. The way Jennifer Niven ends the book is very, very beautiful. This is the kind of book where you will just want to find someone else to talk about it after it ends. This book made me stay up all night reading it, only to find myself the very next morning at the edge of my bed crying, bawling my eyes out. One exciting news about this book is that it's soon to be a major motion picture, so I can't wait. But please read the book before the movie comes out. It's worth it. Last but not least comes this book, The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I bought this book a very long time ago. It is a classic. I bought this book because of the cover, black and pink, very, very nice, and the papers itself is very, very cool. However, I failed to find the fun in it by the time I reached like the first half. And plot twist, I didn't see it coming that this book is also about a mental illness. So the main character, Esther, she fell into depression after failing to get herself into a writing program in a university despite being a scholar. So she fell into depression. She cannot sleep for 20 plus days, and the sleeping pills stopped working on her anymore. So she did try to kill herself and hence ends up being in a mental asylum. So this book is cool in a way that it talks more about the treatment of the illnesses itself. So the first half of the book, it basically just tells you on Esther's journey when she went to New York. That was her first time going out of her hometown, her first time drinking, her first time partying, so all of her first. So it's kind of narrative, the first part, so it is not much of this book as a whole is not much of my favorite. I'm glad that I finished reading it. I think that's all about my book in mental illnesses. I'm going to do more like this, like compiling books with the same theme together, so I don't have to do like too much videos of it. So that's all from me. Thank you. Bye bye. Like, subscribe, and wait for more reviews from me. And let me know what do you think about my reviews, and if you happen to have read any of the books and have any thoughts about it, please leave your comments below. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum and bye bye.